Alright, this video is for, I'm going to probably murder the first name, but it's Chuan Shin. Um, Shin? Okay, so the first and foremost thing that I would say right off the bat is that you want to create, you want to watch your head here. You've got relatively decent proportions, but the problem I'm seeing right off the bat is that the head is a little bit too small. Um, well, maybe, yeah, just a hair too small. I would say the first thing you want to do is you want to probably take it up about 20 to 40%. So just kind of grabbing the head here and transforming it up like that, probably moving the neck over, widening the neck. That's the first thing I would say right off the bat. The second thing I would say is you want to fix the eyes. Looking at this, your eye is going straight on towards you, and then you've got this small section here like you wanted to show me through the eye, which basically means that you're going straight. So the problem with that is the head is actually curved like this, and you've got the mouth at a real steep angle, the nose at a real steep angle, and then the eye should be at a steep angle too. So that's kind of what is throwing you off. So instead, what you want to do is build up your framing of your face here. So I would say something like this. You have your head wrapping around like so, and if it's feminine, you don't want such a big chin. You want a smaller chin. Um, so something like this. I'm just going to kind of build this in there. So then what I would say is start off with, I always do the sides, and that makes it, kind of gives me the facial plane. So then I would basically put in my eye and my other eye here. And then also develop, I know it's anime or an anime style face, you want to develop the nose I think a little bit more. And then watch the mouth. Give the mouth some form, because right now you're losing all the feminine qualities of your face. So what I would say is, if you get that form in there, especially with bigger lips, you can get some really much more feminine quality to it. So that's the first thing that I would fix. Then work on your hands. The hands itself are, I think, a little bit too small compared to the rest of the proportion of the body. Also, this here looks very flat, and you're missing all the information on your hands. And so what I mean by that is when you look at your hands, especially your knuckles, they have a tendency to raise. So this would be up, comes up, this would be down, and then they smooth out as they go towards the pinky. So that's the first and foremost thing. Then on top of that, what you want to do is you want to don't make them like you're tightly gripping. If you're grabbing them, if you're grabbing something, you have the knuckles straight across, and instead what you want to do is you want to build those knuckles in kind of an arch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then here you're going to, because you're elongating the fingers now, all right? And also you kind of have them equal sizes, and the fingers change in size because you're elongating the fingers, especially the pinky. Like this, you're probably going to go back in space. So, if you look, when they curve, when you make that, gripping motion, your fingers tend to blend inward, like something like that. Same thing here is you can't grab, like right now you've got this arch, which is good, but the problem you're not realizing is that when you do this arch on a straight surface towards you, you're tending to, it actually tends to even it out a little bit. So this is actually straighter, especially since you have short finger, and then the middle finger gets a little bit long, and then the upper finger curves a little bit. So change that, get some photo reference for the hands. That's my main point there. So that being said, then what you want to do is work on your foreshortening. Don't, like when you do an arm like this, like I get that you've got the foreshortening here, and that's great, but the problem is the arm doesn't kind of flow like that. What you want to do instead is put the arm in a more natural position and then bend the arm like so. That's a better foreshortening, and especially around here, you're going to get that as a it's going to blend together, especially in this area here. So you want to overlap, and then if you're creating your knuckles as well, you know, change up those angles, like so, like something like that. So that's something you want to look at. Also, the shoulder in this one looks a little bit off, because if I draw the anatomy here, I would almost lower the breast a little bit too. But if I draw the anatomy here, you've got this shoulder here coming down, and like I said, I'm just going to do a quick draw over. So you've got the torso, and we're going to make this like an egg shape here. You've got the rib cage. Alright, so you've got the neck, which I would lower a little bit and put up here, but then you've got your shoulder muscles here, and then lower this a little bit, like so, and then you have to realize that the joint here, I guess it's not too bad off. I think the breasts are confusing me, because I would lower them a little bit, just a hair, and that's going to give you a much more realistic. I think they're just up too high, and that's why the shoulder looks a little bit funny, because what happens is you've got the muscle striation here. Even on a female, you have the muscle striation here, like so, and then the breasts sit over the muscle striation. And if they're up too much, then what's happening is you're losing this muscle here, or you know, the muscle arch type of thing. And so that's something I would look at. Photo reference, it's pretty easy to find on this sort of thing. The next thing I would say is to give a little bit more depth in your suit. Like, you did a really good silhouette here on the arms, really decent here as well. Kind of watch out though on the back of the arm, especially like this. What happens is the fabric, as you bend the arm, that's a horrible arm, I gotta redo that. So the fabric, as you bend the arm, so it's going to bulge here and elbow, so on. So the fabric is going to bunch here, and it's going to bunch in the armpit, but it's going to be taut here on the elbow. And you've got some of that, but you want less wrinkles. This fabric is going to be pulled tight, and actually that's why shirts tend to pull backwards like that. So that's something you want to look at. Also, you know, everything here is straight. You want to add more depth to this. You know, put in ridges of where, you know, fabric, you know, armor meets seams and things like that. And then when you're going here, don't just cut it off. Instead, give it you know, like this, um, a little bit of an arch. And then you can even have micro arches in there to simulate the tubing. And I think that just that little bit of detail will help quite a bit. The other thing is, don't make everything, unless this is like a pattern, don't make everything so equidistant apart. Um, you want to, if it's more like a muscle striation, like an overshoot, you want to make those striations a little bit bigger. Um, the other thing is, when drawing, don't cut off your main image. You know, it's okay to do the torso here, but this looks like a tangent on the side. You want to fix that. You want to move it over a little bit. And it also, the blade, in my opinion, looks a little bit short compared to this, to the girl. You know, especially since anime is about exaggerating. So exaggerate it. You know, being a digital canvas, you've got as big as you want. So that's the first thing that I would tell you right off the bat. Um, and as far as using patterns, like you've got this pattern going on here, you want to replicate that pattern. And I think I see you did under my markings, so that's a good thing. But I would do it in a couple more spots, just to give you the idea of this pattern being replicated. Maybe even on the sword under here, put it here, um, and then possibly like under here someplace, you know, just replicate that pattern once more. You want to kind of do things in threes and or in odd numbers depending on where you're from, but in the States, it's the odd numbers are much more interesting. So I would say I would even put some up here, maybe in her face or something like that, just to add that pattern around. Um, So that's kind of what I'd work on. I think you have a decent start. I think just some little issues that you need to work on. Work on your hands and work on the face a little bit more. And that's pretty much it. All right.